Today's test is meant to demonstrate exactly how Zulu 500 can make items in a record, such as drums or other elements that you're trying to give some vibe to, stick out a little better than they normally do with the tools that we have available to us in other settings. So what I did today is I got some kind of preliminary mix going on this blues rock record. And I have Zulu in the most obvious place, which is the drums. And I've divided the drums into two buses. So it's still not Zulu on every single track, but I have anything with a shell into a shells bus. So kick, snare, toms. And then anything else that's ambient is in an air bus. So I have overheads and room, and they're kind of mixed into stuff. There's a little bit of EQ on the tracks, well, the bus tracks to be specific, and then Zulu's there. That way, when I bypass Zulu, you'll still hear the track EQ'd the way I wanted it to sound before I added in the tape saturation and compression that Zulu is known and famous for. But I wanted you to take a listen to this because even in a busy mix, we have voice and, other instruments competing with the sound of an element. You can actually still hear the change. So what I'm going to do is just push play really quick and you can take a listen to it. There's no Zulu anywhere else. It was only supposed to be on the drum buses. Everything else is pretty much just dry. So not bad sounding drums, right? I'm sure in isolation they sound fine, which is one of the ways we kind of trick ourselves into thinking we're already done, is we can just listen to things and think they sound okay if you listen to the drums in solo. I've done some work to get them to be balanced, just using volume. Of course, the EQ is still active because that's an integral part of the sound. Now let's take a listen to it with Zulu engaged. I'm going to turn them both back on. And we'll listen to them in isolation, just to be fair. So let's take this for a spin. All right, so obviously we hear quite a bit of difference there. But that's nothing if we don't listen to it in context, right? So we'll listen to the drums dry one more time with nothing on them, except the EQ on the buses. That's standard for what I usually do. So let's take a listen again with the music and everything else playing. All right, let's put Zulu back in and play it in the mix. So we'll just do this really quickly. All right, here we go. A lot of change. One more spin.
Are you going down? Are you going down? Sugar, why you going down? Why you going down?
Just to break down really quickly what's on each track. So on the Shells bus, I've got it set pretty straightforward. We've got deck set to low, bias set to positive, which a lot of people are used to using. However, using a new feature on Zulu 500 here, we have the bias B button set to dark, which creates a resonant bump in the lows. And even at the higher settings, one of the tricks that people fall for is they think that when I hit the bias B button, when bias is on positive, that I should automatically get a darkening effect. In actuality, at the extreme end of the scale on positive for bias, if you put the bias B to up, which is the dark setting, you actually get a really nice subsonic enhancement. It's beautiful. We have one click of enhance, headroom is set to low, and we're in TK mode. We are on dirty cassette tape, old school 1960s tape headroom for these drums. That's where a lot of that change is coming from. In different tape calibrations, it would be a little bit cleaner. You'd have a little bit less interaction going on to create those elements that are giving it that vibe and that crunch. But the enhanced kind of dials back in some of that detail, and that helps us to make it still sound like something that we're familiar with originally, but now it's been altered in a very pleasing way. Down on the Shells bus, you can see the layout. We're not really cramming anything in there, but we're using some healthy amounts of level. We're coming in at around, we're peaking at 1.2, but we're coming in, a decent level. We go down to the Air bus. Airbus is actually pretty straightforward. It's the same as the other bus with a slight difference. We have it at low deck. Bias is at 9 o'clock, so a lot of highs are rolled off. And this is creating that resonant push-pull effect in a different way. Bias is set to, the B button is set to bright, so we're getting less of that bass curve early on. Instead, we're getting it later. So we're darkening and smoothing out the top end, but we're also trying to just bring the bass up a little bit and create some resonance there, which gives it some more authority and grab. And enhance is set to one click, headroom is set to low, and once again, we're in TK mode. So what I'm going to do actually, which is really a fun thing that I learned on this particular record, I'm just going to push play and listen to the Air bus. Here you go. Let's take Zulu out. There we go. Listen to that. Wow. And back in. Back from the top. It's making a big difference. One of the other things I found is that this Air bus is actually giving the definition to a lot of the kit sounds. So if I turn back on the Shells bus, and there's no Zulu on that currently. I'm going to turn back on Zulu on that bus and push play, and then turn off the Air bus. See how the bottom falls out? It's just by bypassing it on the overheads and room. It's like being on a trampoline. And then in context.
Why
Never let anybody tell you that using the right devices in a busy mix won't make that big of a difference. They absolutely will. Zulu 500, sold by Handsome Audio, on sale right now on reverb.com/shop/Handsome Audio Shop. Zulu 500 on sale now.